Turkey for participating in its incubation program Impact for Social Initiatives, where the project received the first prize in the pitching competition. Madinatouha is a step towards creating safer, accessible, and more inclusive Algerian cities that combine both our contemporary lifestyle and our authentic identity. Thank you for listening. So shall I start?
Okay, you may share your PowerPoint now.
Just please tell me when I should start.
Yeah, you can start now. You can share your screen.
Okay, thank you. The public is listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So my name is Sana bin Hamouche. I am from Algeria. I have a PhD degree in architecture from the School of Architecture, IPO, in Algiers. So today I am going to share a part of my PhD research that tackles the question of collaborative mapping for women-friendly cities in Algeria. So the project uses collaborative mapping used in a phone app in order to explore the women's experience in public spaces. So in this presentation, I am going to present the procedure of developing this project and then the lessons learned from the first experience, Blida is the city where I live. It is located in the north center of Algeria. It is not very far away from the capital, and it has an old market and very many famous traditional spaces. For example, here we have the square of Sahet al-Tout, which is in the center of the old city of Blida. Let's start. So first of all, we often talk about smart cities that may look like a trend, but we really ask, who is the city smart for? I mean, if we can have very smart applications, but we don't know the needs of our users, then we did not achieve the objective of smart cities. In Algeria, we have seen a significant shift. Women's participation in whether in workforce or in public space is getting stronger. However, city designers and urban planners do not tackle the problems of women in the urban environment. So women suffer from many urban problems, such as the lack sometimes of safety. They feel of fear during sometimes in the city. Some public spaces lack the dedicated women's facilities, such as public toilets and mothering rooms. Some women who are mothers of newborn babies have difficulties in their mobility because of the inadequate roads, streets, and entrance of public spaces. And also we have some problems related to comfort and the beauty of the urban environment, so the aesthetics. So all these problems and many others do not have lack of communication with city designers. That's why throughout my PhD research, I try to explore women's experience in the city where I live, the city of Blida, where we can find many interesting phenomena, such as that there are some places where women feel welcomed, and even some places are very crowded in women, and there are other places that are men majority occupied. So, and also I have observed that some places are, for example, in the morning are occupied by women and at night are deserted. So these urban phenomena are interesting to study. So I asked a question, how can spatial conviviality for women in the Algerian context can be measured? So the hypothesis is that collaborative mapping offers insights into the interact dynamics of this specific city, such as Blida, Algeria. So the objective of my research was to develop an assessment tool for spatial conviviality and provide a tool to assist experts in town planning and architecture so that they can understand the needs of women and also their families. So I started with doing the literature review and reviewing some research papers that are similar to my case study. I also examined some applications, phone applications that use collaborative mapping. After examining, doing an extensive literature review, I started indicating some intangible concepts that are related to women's experience in the urban environment, such as safety, functionality, comfort, and dignity. And under each intangible concept, there are variables. And then I tried to transfer these intangible concepts into tangible elements that I can measure that are related to the built environment. And at the end, I came up with 16 variables that can measure women's experience in the city and group them into 4 main categories: safety, dignity, functionality, and comfort. I also, during my research, categorized the spaces in the city of Blida into outdoor public spaces that welcome everyone, indoor public spaces that are mixed use, such as malls, commercial centers, etc. Women's indoor public spaces, I found some spaces that are dedicated to women, and other spaces that are indoor and dedicated to men. And they are all exist naturally in the city. And then I started studying every variable and reading about it and doing my literature review. After that, I developed these 16 variables into a questionnaire that is related to a rating system. And then there is something called weighting and aggregation in order to come with an equation. So all these variables were summed up in one equation that can measure the conviviality of space. And each result has a color. So if the space is not appropriate at all to women's use, it is colored in red. If it is perfectly convivial for women use, it is blue, and so on. And then we started with the help of a mobile application developer, developing the architecture of the mobile phone. So we had the 4 categories of spaces and the 16 variables with their rating system. And then we started studying the interface of the mobile application and enjoying doing the design of the logo. So at the end, we came up with this application called Madinatouha. It is an Arabic term, means hair city. So this application, after developing the first prototype, was uploaded to Google Play. So it was downloadable by anyone who is interested with this application. And we can see that it allows us to do ratings to public spaces and categorize them according to the categories that we have mentioned earlier. And then each space, we can answer some questions about it. And at the end, we can have insights. And the accumulation of that data can give us the rating or the conviviality of this space. So women can know before going to that space or public space that whether it is convivial or not. And then we developed a web page for this application. We have created some videos to simplify the idea and some illustrations. And then we have identified the zone where we studied, we conducted our first campaign, data collection campaign. So here is the city of Blida. We have the old center, city center of the downtown of the Blida city, with all public spaces that are very famous, and also a boulevard. So there is a very well-known street here, commercial street. So we studied these two areas, and with the help of 10 data collectors who are volunteers and specialized in architecture, we divided these two areas into zones. So each two data collectors took a zone and studied it. Before conducting the data campaign, we did some semi-structured interviews, and we tried to compare some manually done interviews with the application, so we can ensure that the application is going well, is very well precised. And then we started the data collection. So the campaign was conducted during winter season. We did 6 visits to each public space, and each visit, the duration of each visit was 3 hours. And we divided these visits into 3 time slots: morning, afternoon, and evening. The night was not covered in this study because in the city of Blida, most of public spaces are deserted by women at night. And this is one of the specificities of this city, that at night the city is deserted, and there is only a few men who is walking in the city. So the choice of days was random, and we had 2 types of days. We have the weekends and weekday, and Friday and Saturday morning, afternoon were considered as weekend periods, and the remaining periods treated as weekdays. So in Algeria, Friday and Saturday are the weekend here. And we excluded night and early morning time slots due to social constraints. So we started in conducting that campaign, and at the end of our campaign, we succeeded in collecting 1,064 ratings. We interviewed 700 women, and we covered 74 geographical points, or we can say public spaces. So the data collectors used the mobile application to interview women and ask them the questions that are visible in the application, and helped them to answer them. So here's the sample definition. I mean, there is the first results of the data collection campaign, and then we can see that the data that we collected from the app allowed us to do many statistics, and then I exported the data to ArcGIS to have an infinity of maps according to the 16 variables. So here is the main map that can tell me which spaces are most convivial and which spaces are unconvivial at all. And we found that overall in these 2 areas that we studied, we have they are convivial with 60%. So there is 40% that we should work on as urban designers to improve the attractiveness of this city for women. And we can see that the city is safe with 60%, but has many problems with functionality. So these are some interesting results that we came out with this study. So here I am just showing the possibilities that the app can provide. So each public space, we can have some statistics about it. And we can have some special maps. For example, this map can show the types of public spaces, which spaces are mixed, indoor, outdoor, for women only or for men only. And we can find also that women-only indoor spaces were the most convivial, while the outdoor spaces were 50%, were half convivial for women. And we can find also that some places have really serious issues of safety. while other spaces are very safe. So women feel very safe in these spaces, the blue ones, the green also, but the red dots, the red spots are not recommended for women. Here also we have the functionality access, which spaces that provide amenities for women. So we can see that there are a lot of red and yellow dots. So that means that we have many issues in terms of mobility or public toilets or mothering spaces. All these spaces lack the amenities for women. We can even know about the pram accessibility. So here, the red one and orange, yellow, these places are inaccessible for pushing a pram, but the green and blue ones are convivial for women with babies, in terms of mobility. Also here we have women facilities map, for example, toilets, mothering facilities, kids playing areas are all considered in the facilities, and we can observe that most of the spaces lack women facilities in the city of Blida. Even we can, in terms of dignity, which means social norms, we can find some places that are majorly occupied or by men, and women can feel really excluded or rejected. So the red dots means that these spaces women do not access, while the green and blue women really like and can use in all most of the time, while some spaces we can find there are differences in terms of time. So they can be accessible in the morning, but when night comes, they are not. So they are rejecting the use of women. So all these patterns, we could read them throughout the application, and thanks to the application. So the strengths of this project, that the capacity to generate a wide range of maps and charts, and the potential to providing real-time and accurate data about public space from a user's view, due to the participatory nature of the project and the collaborative technology. So we used Google Maps and Firebase, basically these two applications. We implemented them in the application, so which allowed us to have all these accurate data. And at the end, we hope that this tool can be a practical one for urban planners and decision makers to better reflect public space design. However, we faced so many challenges that I find interesting to share with you here in the state of the map of Africa. For example, we had the problem of internet connection. Not all women have mobile phones with internet connection. Even the data collectors sometimes faced some troubles with the internet connection, unfortunately. The assessment process could take too much time. So I had 16 variables, which means 16 questions. And if we ask every woman these 16 questions, it takes lots of time. If she is in a hurry, she may not answer the questions in a good enough or sufficiently. There is also the privacy culture. Some women do not like to talk about their problems. They feel that this is a private issue, or they do not like to show the problems of their city. And there is also the lack of critical thinking and architectural point of view. Some women that we ask, they do not even observe these obstacles. They do not know that the problem is architectural. So it was the task of the data collectors to explain the problem to women and try to make them thinking about these 16 variables that we came out with. There is also the risk of theft. Some places had really safety issues, and it was really risky to collect data in these spaces. There are different safety perceptions. For example, you can ask a local citizen and tell you that it is really safe. But if you ask a stranger, she can tell you that it is not safe. So there are different perceptions. Some spaces are deserted, so there are no women there. For example, men majority coffee shops. There are some coffee shops that are majorly occupied by men, so there is nobody to ask. And there are spaces, even they have really any major problems, but women feel obliged to go there. For example, if they need to buy cheap clothes, or they want to buy groceries, so they need to go there, even though this space is not convivial to their use. So the recommendation, after finishing this experience, we had like a revision of the process and what can we do next time to improve the project. So our suggestion is to divide the process into 2 steps. Step 1, the expert who can assess the space, an expert in architecture, or a trained data collector who can answer some main questions about the space objectively. And then a second step for users who are women. So there are some questions that can only be answered by women, and others can be only answered by experts. So our recommendation for the next time is to have another process of rating. Also, here are some lessons learned from this experience. First of all, the digital literacy gap. So the use of smartphones enabled a broader participations, but some women who are not familiar with technology may feel a problem in using the app. So we can recommend that this app be designated to maybe young women or the young generation who can use phone apps. Otherwise, the data collectors should be trained to facilitate this rating process. Also, trust building. The success of the mapping process relied heavily on trust between data collectors and respondents. So we need to understand this sensitive point that some people may feel suspicious and may not answer the questions. So we should make the participant feel comfortable to answer the question. Also, mapping as empowerment. The project helped many women articulate experiences they had internalized or normalized. So mapping became a form of storytelling and civic participation, giving visibility to invisible everyday struggles. And also, sorry, here's, you must write 4. Open tool for local impact. The integration of Firebase and Google Maps offered an adaptable, scalable model. So the experience raises questions about how such tools can be better aligned with OpenStreetMap ecosystem to improve local impact data openness, and long-term usability. So for the research perspective, we have 3 perspectives we can consider. First of all, scaling the project to other Algerian and Muslim majority cities, and maybe other African cities, to have a comparative database of gendered urbanism. Also, the integration of artificial intelligence. So we can suggest optimal paths for women, for example, and the spaces that they should avoid in less convivial spaces. And also, we may raise this question: how can we align the project Madinatouha with OpenStreetMap ecosystem to ensure that this data is open, usable, and has long-term local impact? So thank you for your support. Thanks for everyone who supported this project. To finish with my speech, I would like to say that we don't just need better designed cities or smart cities. We need cities that are co-designed with the local people, with different categories of people. Collaborative mapping is the bridge that can finally connect women and other categories of the society on the street to the planners at the desk. And thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Salam.
Yeah. Thank you, Senab and Mahochi, for your presentation. I think that's an amazing one from your end. I don't know if you have any question. Can we see your digital hand? Any question?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the presentation. I want to ask
Thank
one question.
Yes.
I want to know if the same approach used for this project could be used for the facilitation.
I cannot hear very well the question. Can you please write it down? The voice is not clear from my side.
Okay, while he comes up again, I was wondering the extent to which you explored OpenStreetMap in this architectural design of this app, because I could see that you only put that as part of your recommendation. Does it mean
Yes.
that from the start you were not thinking about having OpenStreetMap as the basis for this design?
Yeah. Actually, the mobile developer felt familiar with Google Maps and Firebase, so he adopted these solutions. But why not? Since I am participating in this conference, I may explore other solutions, inshallah. So I look forward to try the OpenStreetMap and make the data open to a larger public.
All right, so we would love to see you integrate that to OpenStreetMap, and yeah, so because it will be open to everyone and it will be well accessible. Yeah, we have a lot of apps that are working on OpenStreetMap, and for your data collection, to what extent did you collect primary data or just secondary data?
So if I can understand your question, so this data campaign was within the PhD project. So I had only one data campaign just to validate the application. But after finishing the PhD, I may market this project and conduct other campaigns in other cities. So I will work on scaling and developing this project. Does this answer your question?
Yes, you only provided data to validate that too. So
Yes.
how many or what is the coverage?
What was?
I mean, the data you collected to validate, did you to validate your architectural design?
I think there is internet issue here because I cannot hear
Right.
very
All
well.
right. Let's have Sabula, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, Sabula.
This is Ekiri. Sabula, please go ahead and ask your question.
So my question is, I want to know if the same approach that used for this project could be used for the facilitation of disabled people in Algeria.
Can you
I can repeat. I am asking if the same approach that used for this project could be
approach?
Used, yeah, the approach that used for this project. It could be used for the same project or facilitation of is about people in urbanization in Algeria.
Yes. So you are asking about the approach to collect data in Algeria?
I'm talking about the architecture that will facilitate disabled people, like you did about women.
I don't understand very well the question. Can someone please explain for me?
The same way you made research about a project to support women in Algeria, I want to know that you could use the same approach for disabled people in Algeria.
If someone can say again the question, explain it for me from the organizers, can you please?
Yeah, I think he was talking about replication.
Okay.
Yeah, replication of the architectural, the application of what you are doing, can it be replicated in other places? Yeah.
How can I replicate the experience in Algeria? Is this the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is each time I should do a call for participation in a certain city and explore the city, first of all, with some local people. Maybe I can work with other universities from other cities. And each time I work with a team, I train them. I provide some training about the application and the rating system and what is the meaning of each variable, how can we measure it. And then after going through this training, we conduct a data collection campaign in the field. So, for example, for 3 months, we divide that city into zones and make some teams of data collectors who are already trained, and then they will conduct the data collection. As I said, they can enter the data that is related to architecture, and also they can interview women and ask about their perception and their experience in these public spaces. So the accumulation of data using that equation will give me the final result. So for example, in a certain public space, I interviewed 40 women. So I have 40 ratings. The application will automatically gather all these answers and give me a result in terms of, for example, safety, functionality, comfort, etc. So this is how I am going to feed the app with data. So there is a problem of renewing this data. So if some place was, for example, had troubles, it was vulnerable, and then it was fixed. So we need data collectors to stay with me to ensure that they are still connected to the project, so they can tell that this place has been fixed. So this stage I did not reach yet, but I wish that this application can be done in collaboration with some public institutions in urbanism or architecture, where I can ensure the sustainability of the project and scale it into other cities. So this is how it is going to work. I hope that I answered your question, Sabula.
Yeah, thank you very much, Salah. And for the situation here, your time is up. So we thank you for your session, and you are so very welcome.
Thank you very much for organizing this great conference.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kandani.